Hello everyone. You haven't heard from me in a while. I know you watched a video hopefully yesterday, but it wasn't a current video. So we're going to do what my accelerated pre-cal, we're kind of getting back on track with them. We're going to not go quite as fast as they did. So today we're going to do another practice day of what I would call the quote-unquote easy stuff before we go into the harder stuff tomorrow. So if you didn't watch yesterday's lesson, I hope you will, and then it was just 4 problems for you to take notes with. Today I'm going to do 2 more, and then you're going to submit 2 answers to me through Google Classroom, a form. Okay? So try your best here. I'm going to also, let me first start with this. If you do not have a calculator, first of all, you need a calculator. If you do not have a calculator, we're going to go to Desmos, all right? So, I see it says a problem. Let's just make sure it works real quick. Yeah, okay, everything's good. So we're going to go to Desmos like we've done before. Remember, this is how it looks to start with. It doesn't go straight to that. It goes straight here, and then you click on this one, Scientific, and then this will come up. So if you do not have a calculator, get one. Like pick one up is what I'm saying from your book bag. If you don't have one, you can just go to desmos.com. All right, so I'll go back and forth to that one momentarily. Okay, so here is our formula from yesterday, the law of sines, and this is our formula. So the lowercase letters represent sides and the uppercase letters represent angles. All right. Okay. So when we work these problems here, I'm going to show you exactly how I would do them and work them and everything. All right. So the first thing is we're going to solve the triangle. That should have been in the directions. That means we're going to find all the missing pieces. And then we're going to round to the tenths, which is just 1 decimal place. Okay. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to label the 3 things I need to find. So I need to find the measure of angle B. I need to find side A, which I'm going to label here. And I need to find side B that I'm going to label here. Okay. All right. So which one of those do you think is going to be the easiest thing to find? Well, I think it's going to be an angle, because if we know 2 angles in a triangle already, finding the third one should be very simple. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add up our 22 plus 13. 22 plus 13, I'm just typing it in my calculator, pretending like hopefully you are as well, equals 35. Okay, so then I'm going to do 180 minus 35, because we know a triangle equals 180. And when we do 180 minus 35, we get 145. Okay, so that's our first angle here, or our third angle here. So our first answer, okay, 145 degrees. Oh, I should have started with, I'm sorry, I should have done this already. I was given the 9, the 22, and the 13 to begin with. So my question to y'all is this ASA or is it AAS? All right, so basically, is this side between these 2 angles or is it not? And the answer is not. Okay, so B is the side that is between those 2 angles. Okay, so this, let's write it down, is an angle side problem. Okay, if you hear a crying baby, he's waking up from nap time, so just FYI. Okay, so his daddy's gonna go get him, by the way. Don't worry, I'm not leaving him. Okay, so now we need to find sides A and sides A and B. All right, or side A and side B. Okay, so the way that we're going to do that is we're going to use the law of sines, and we're going to match them up according to this. Let me go silence his monitor really quickly because it's a little loud. Sorry. Okay, so we want to find the things that match up. And what I mean by that is things that are across from each other. Okay, so the 9 is across from the 13. Okay, so we want to use those things first. So we're going to use 9 over sine 13 degrees. And then you can pick whether you want to do A first or whether you want to do B first. That is completely up to you. I'm going to typically do alphabetical order. That's just my preference. So I'm going to do A first. Okay. All right. So I'm going to do A. That's what we're looking for. Over. And what does it match up with? It matches up with 22. So I'm going to do sine 22 degrees. Okay. So let me make this a little more noticeable that this is a 9. The other one's a A. Okay, so we're trying to get this by itself, all right? So we want to get rid of divide, so we're going to times. And what we do to one side, we do to the other. And now we're just going to type that right in, all right? So it's going to be 9 divided by sine 13, close parentheses, hit enter, and then you're going to times, oops, I need to put answer times sine 22. And our answer is 14.987. All right, so if we're rounding to the 10th, we need this guy to tell us what to do. So does that 8 tell it to bump up? The answer is yes. Well, then that 9 is going to bump up, which bumps up the 14. So our A is approximately 15 meters. Okay, does that make sense to everybody? I hope so. And now we're going to do the exact same thing, but for B. All right, let's get a different color. So I'm going to continue to use the 9 and the 13 here because that's what was given to us. If I could technically put the 15 here and now use 15 and 22 in the formula, but I'm not going to because in case I'd made a mistake. Okay, so I'm going to stick with what was given. The 9 over the sine 13 degrees equals, this time we're finding B over sine, and what goes across from B is that 145 we found. So you see why it's important to get that 145 correct the first time, because it'll obviously throw you off a little bit. All right, so let's times by sine 145 to get rid of the divide by sine 45, and we can times it in the front or the back. I'm going to put it, I should have done that on the other one. Okay, so I'm going to type in the calculator. I'm going to do 9 divided by sine 13, hit enter, oops, enter, then take the answer and times it by sine of 145, and then hit enter, 22.94. And so what does the 4 tell the 9 to do? It tells it to stay. So 22.9 meters. Okay, now I'm going to fill them in really quickly. So that was 15 meters here. This was 22.9 meters here. Now I'm just going to double check. It doesn't tell me that I'm exactly right, but I'm just going to double check. Does this largest angle, 145, have the largest side across from it? And the answer is yes. Okay, and then you could check medium and small. So the 9 is the smallest side and the 13 degrees is the smallest angle. So it makes sense, okay? All right, so that's how you do an AAS problem. Now let's do an ASA. So let's first make sure everybody's clear. We have an angle, we have a side, and we have an angle, and that side is absolutely between the two, right? It is right in the middle of these two angles. Okay? All right, so let's write down the things that we need. All right, so we need the measure, I'm going to write it down here, of angle C. We need side A, and we need side B. Okay? All right, so again, I always am going to start with the angle, because if I know two angles, then finding that third one is going to be easy. So I'm going to do 58 plus 93. So 58 plus 93 gives me 151, and then I'm going to do 180 minus 151, which gives me 29 degrees. All of these are degrees. Okay, so 29 is our first angle, and I'm going to put it in here. All right, 29 degrees, excuse me. All right, now I'm going to use that 29 and the 16 because they are across from each other. They kind of match up, if you will. So I'm going to do 16 over sine 29 degrees equals A over sine 93 degrees. All right, and I'm going to times by sine 93 on this side and by this side. And the reason we're timesing or multiplying is because we want to get rid of divide by that number. Okay, so let's type that in. So we're going to type in, let's clear all. So we're going to do 16 divided by sine 29, hit enter, and then times by sine 93. 32.95. And so what does the 5 tell the 9 to do? It tells it to bump up, and then the 9 is going to bump the 32 up. So 32.95 is going to round to 33 meters. And that was side A because I used A and 93, those two. Let me use a different color of these. Okay. All right, now let's do the same thing again, but this time we're trying to find side B. So I'm going to use 16 over sine 29 again, because they're across from each other, and now B over sine of 58 degrees. All right, so if we're trying to get B alone, we want to get rid of this sine 58. And so I'm getting rid of it by doing the opposite of divide, which is multiply, and now I'm going to type that into the calculator. So I'm going to do this part first, and then I'll times by the other side. So 16 divided by sine 29, and then take my answer and times it by sine 58. 27.98. And what does the 8 tell the 9 to do? It tells it to bump up, which will bump the 27 to 28 units. Okay, so that's how you do the law of sines when it's the quote-unquote easy kind, which are AAS and ASA. All right, so your job is, if you need to go back, rewatch it again, or rewatch the video from yesterday, it kind of explained the same exact thing. I want you to try these two on your own. I have put a Google form for you to fill out. If you feel more comfortable sending them just a picture of your answers, you can do that too through text, through Remind or my email. But I think the form's easier. It just kind of puts everything in one place. But I'm flexible, so whatever you want to do. All right, so try these two on your own. You're going to come up with the 3 remaining sides. So the directions should say solve the triangle and round to the tenths. Okay, so do your best and can't wait to see what you come up with.